Hi, my name is Keegan, and I'm a criminal defense attorney at the law office of David Shapiro in San Diego, where we help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. So last week, the Los Angeles District Attorney is a new guy. His name is George Gascon. He was elected this past cycle and he took office. And what he basically did was he initiated some sweeping criminal justice reforms throughout his office in LA. And I want to talk about them because San Diego, quite frankly, should be following suit. There are a lot of no-brainers when it comes to people that care about criminal justice reform and trying to make the criminal justice system as a whole more equitable for everyone involved. And the first thing that really matters and strikes a lot of people, and that the LADA has enacted effective immediately, is ending the death penalty. So the LADA directed everyone in his office to no longer seek the death penalty on their cases. And if they have pending cases, to no longer seek the death penalty consequence. It could still be a lifetime case, but to stop asking for a death penalty as a result. And it's something that, frankly, everyone nationwide should be doing, but they're not quite yet. And LA is kind of leading the charge there, and San Diego should do it as well. Another directive that the LADA had given his office last week was an end to three-strike sentencing. Now, anyone in California or in the area has probably heard of this. Three strikes law is a fossil from the 90s that is still haunting us to this day. And what it basically allows is for some serious or violent felonies, it really jacks up your sentencing, the punishment for certain felonies. So if it's your first time out and you get a strike offense that California categorizes as a strike, you're going to do more time in custody. You might still get, say, 8 years, which you would regardless, but you're going to have to do more of it at 80% or so. As well as if you get a second offense, you're going to get doubled up. You're going to get twice as much punishment as you would have otherwise. And if you catch your third strike, you could be looking at 25 to life. The LADA had said enough is enough. What three strikes law has ended up with is completely disproportionate punishments for the offenses people were actually charged with. And the LADA has said we're no longer going to be pursuing three strikes punishment. It's too punitive, it's disproportionate, it's completely unjust. So they're not going to try to seek those sentencing enhancements anymore. Another thing that they're doing away with is sentencing enhancements or allegations. This is something where if I caught a unrelated offense, say assault or something like that, I could get extra years on my sentence just because if it was affiliated with a gang or there was some involvement of a firearm, things of that nature. What it does is it takes my base punishment and it jacks that up as well. And the LADA realized that this is really ridiculous and it's not making anyone safer long term. So they are no longer going to be pursuing those sentencing enhancements either. And a really critical portion of all of these reforms is that they are seeking to make it retroactive. And that means it's not just the new cases that come to the office. They're going to comb through some of the old ones as well, especially prioritizing the death penalty cases and more serious cases like that, and try to re-sentence them so that even if you were sentenced 5 or 10 years ago, you can still go back to court and get your new sentence consistent with these procedures and policies that the DA has put in place. Then beyond that, they're also looking at other, not just sentencing and punishment related policies, but they're also enacting things earlier on in the process. One is that they're no longer trying juveniles as adults. So for some offenses in California, even if you're 16 or 17 years old, you can be tried in adult court as an adult. And it's not right because scientifically your brain is not there, you're not developed enough, you don't understand the consequences of certain offenses the same way an actual adult would. But under current law, you can still be tried as an adult. LADA said, no more, we're not doing that anymore. Regardless, even if California law permits it, we're not trying these juveniles as adults, and that's a fantastic thing. And then the final policy that if you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm a big fan of, it's ending cash bail. It is much easier said than done. Cash bail and the argument for and against it is completely It's really nuanced and controversial, and I get it on both sides, but this one in particular, George Gascon said, what we're gonna do is for most misdemeanors and nonviolent felonies is we're gonna end cash bail. So in LA County, if you're being prosecuted by the LADA's office and you're looking at a misdemeanor, maybe a DUI or a nonviolent felony, something of that nature, you might be able to stay out of custody while your case is pending, but without having to pay that lump sum for bail or a bond, which is a great thing because it doesn't actually really make anyone safer. And what it does is it keeps poor and underprivileged people in custody and disproportionately minorities in custody for no reason other than they can't afford it. And it actually has nothing to do with their specific danger to the community. And it's stupid. So the LADA's office is making some really, really necessary criminal justice reforms here. And San Diego is still lagging behind. So while it's great to see in other jurisdictions, I love to see it as a criminal justice advocate, and anyone else would, but it's not helping me and my clients yet until the San Diego DA kind of gets on board as well. And it'll be interesting to see what side of history San Diego wants to be on here. I have heard some of the people, radio pundits and stuff, say that in LA now, virtually no one's going to go to jail, and they either don't know what they're talking about and are not related to criminal justice or criminal law at all, or they are lying to you and they know that they're full of it and they're saying this to you anyways, because absolutely people are still going to be punished. They're still going to jail, to prison, but the really, really punitive and unfair and unjust sentences that result from some California laws, the LADA is trying to modify that here and now by their policies, and San Diego should do the same. So if you're in San Diego and you don't yet have the benefit of these reforms and you still need a qualified, experienced defense attorney in your corner, go ahead and give us a call. Our phone number is 619-295-3555.